So today we are continuing our look at how the driver is different to the irons and how your swing needs to change in order to get the most out of these golf clubs. So welcome back to the Forest of Arden. This is the second video in this kind of mini series, just two videos looking at the irons versus the driver and how they're different. That first video covered setup and really why the setup has to be different. So I'll link that in the corner if you haven't seen that one already. This particular video is going to be looking a little bit more at the actual swings themselves and a couple of practical drills that you can do in practice which are going to help you really get the most out of your irons and your driver. Just before we get started, if you're new here, would love you to be part of my channel. It is free to be a subscriber. There's 3 videos coming each and every week helping you play some better golf. There's a clickable link down there in the description, or there's one at the end of the video if you'd rather wait for that. So irons against driver, they are very, very different clubs. We're looking to do something extremely different down at impact, and because of that, it changes everything from setup to swing. Now, setup we've already covered, so we're going to cover the swing in this particular video. Now, as we said in that first video, the main differences really are that the irons are played predominantly from the ground and the driver is played from the tee peg, and that changes everything about what we do. So let's think a little bit about our golf club moving around our body. It effectively makes this big circle that goes around my body, and everyone's golf club does that. Some circles are slightly different than others and different shapes, but effectively the golf club has got a down part, it's got an up part, and it's got a very, very small part where it's traveling level with the ground. Now with an iron club, the bottom of that swing arc, so the lowest part of the circle, has to be underground and it has to be target side of the golf ball. So it has to be somewhere over here where the lowest part of that circle is under the ground and it's target side of the ball. If I can achieve that, what it allows me to do is it allows me to strike the golf ball followed by the ground. Now that ground could be sand if you're in a bunker, it could be the fairway, it could be the rough, whatever it may be. We're looking to hit ball and then turf. The reason we want to do that is it's the most efficient way to deliver the club to the ball. So whatever that lie is, we get the best result for that. As soon as that ball is teed up, we have that same circle, but that circle now doesn't need to be underground, it needs to be slightly above the ground, and the lowest part of that circle needs to be behind the golf ball. So now we're hitting that golf ball as the club is working up away from the ground, and we call that an upward hit. So very, very different deliveries of the golf club, and that's why our setups have to be different, as we kind of explained in that first video. So how do the swings differ? Well, in reality, what we do doesn't massively change. The setup changes a lot, but certainly our concept and our ideas will change. So when I'm using my iron here, I've got myself a 7-iron. Notice I've placed a towel probably around about the width of a club head and a half behind my golf ball. That will differ depending on the thickness of your towel. This is folded up a couple of times. And what I'm really looking to do here is actually just make some swings where my concept is to get the bottom of my circle underground and target side of the golf ball. So let's have a go at that. So I'm looking to get my circle underground and target side of that ball. And there you can see I did that nicely. It wasn't the biggest divot in the world, but you can see the divot is around about here. It's target side of the ball, and I missed the towel. So once I had my setup correct, it was really just a bit of concept of what I was trying to do. What I had in my mind, I was able to execute down at impact. So now let's go to the driver and show you how we're going to move this towel to help you with that club. So with the driver, we've got that towel in front of the golf ball by probably about the same amount, but I've rolled the towel up a bit to make it a little bit taller. So now when I set it to this golf ball, again, I'm trying to change my concept, my ideas. I'm now trying to get the bottom of my swing arc to be before the golf ball. My golf club will then make contact with the ball and move up over that head cover. So I'm creating, with irons and driving, creating these visual cues down at impact, which help me build the right concept, and then the setup changes I've made can help me achieve those impact conditions. So let's have a go with the driver. So we're looking to adopt that setup that we mentioned in that first video, and then really feel like the bottom of my swing arc is behind the golf ball and it swings up over that towel. And that's absolutely perfect down this hole, a little bit of a cut into the middle of the fairway, and towel stayed in place. There was no contact with that towel. So very, very different deliveries of the golf club to the golf ball, but using that towel, I'm able to really establish, was my delivery correct? Like we said in that first video, the wrong delivery with the wrong club is a real recipe for disaster, and that's when you're going to get those real poor shots out on the golf course. A couple of other little differences that you might have in the golf swing. Because we have a bag full of irons, if I can't reach with my 7, I've got a 6, that's going to go further. I'm probably looking with my irons to feel that my golf swing is a little bit shorter, a little bit more compact, so I finish with a golf club short of parallel. That's really going to help me with my control. With the driver, you know, that's the club where it's the longest club in my bag. I'm really trying to advance that ball much further down there. So I don't mind allowing my club and my arms to travel a little bit further, and that club's going to get much closer to parallel to the ground. So slightly different swing lengths are going to be present, and when we actually make contact with the ball, there's going to be a lot more force present with the driver. So as I'm starting to rotate and what we call use the ground, where I start to extend my legs and extend my pelvis, with the driver that's going to be done with a little bit more force. So certainly the feels that I'm going to have with my driver and my irons are going to be slightly different. My irons are going to feel shorter, more compact, and a little bit more controlled. My driver is going to feel a little bit longer, through impact is going to feel a little bit more explosive, and I'm going to find that my finish position is probably a little bit different as a result from that. The key takeaway from this video is the swings don't change. We don't take the club away differently. We don't deliver it from the inside or the outside. The setup dictates a lot. The concept is really important, and then practicing in a station where you're able to get some feedback is really important. Notice how I hit iron and driver. That's a great way to practice. Hit an iron, hit a driver, hit an iron, hit a driver. Get used to changing the club's delivery to match the club. That's the best way to get the most out of these golf clubs. And when you take that to the course, no difference with the driver, difference with the irons, that's a great indicator that you're on the right track and your delivery is matching the club that's in your hands. So irons versus driver, very, very different clubs. They're there to do a different job. We need the club's interaction and the golf ball to be very different. Make sure the setup reflects that, make sure the swing reflects that, and hopefully you'll get more out of those clubs next time you play. Thanks for watching. Usual stuff is down below. There's a comments box down there. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this short video series. There's also a like button down there, and also the subscribe link over there. Be part of my channel. Would love you to join me, and we can help you play some better golf this year. Thanks for watching.